Welcome to Detached Podcast. I'm your host, Akarin, and I'm joined with my co-host, Strange Mental today. And today we're going to be interviewing Galactic Elliot, who is a Pokemon streamer, and also some variety mixed in with stuff like Among Us that we did together, and a bunch of other stuff. So my first question to you, Elliot, would be, who are you? So just go ahead and introduce yourself. What are the things that you do? And yeah, let's just get right into it.
What's up, everybody? My name is Galactic Elliot. Elliot, it's in the name, I guess. Galactic's, just the thing that I used before Elliot. It has nothing to do with Mario Galaxy or Team Galactic, people may assume. But, I like space, so, Galactic Elliot. I do tons of Pokemon. I do tons of Nintendo content in general, I would say. Some Smash sprinkled in, Mario. I used to actually speedrun Mario way back when, but not much of a speedrunner these days. And, like Karian said, I do Among Us here and there, as well as, sometimes I may play Fall Guys or some other games that may trend and may be fun to play with friends, honestly. We need more games that are fun to play with friends, by the way. Like, we need to.
I agree.
But yeah, no. I've been doing this whole content creation thing for like pretty much half my life at this point. It's kind of crazy to say that, but I've been doing this for a very long time. Some years not being as serious as others, obviously, but overall, been doing this for a long time, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Yeah, so you said you were doing content for half your life. How many years has it actually been, like, the actuality of it? Like, how many years do you think has it been?
So, like, I guess it depends on when what is content creation? Like, what is, how does, what kind of defines that, Like, was it, like, just me making a YouTube video, like, whenever I was a kid for fun? Or was it whenever I started to actually like, edit stuff and, like, all that kind of stuff? I guess my first YouTube video I made back in 2006. I made it way back in the day, and funnily enough, it was about Club Penguin. So my first ever YouTube video was literally about Club Penguin.
That's
So I was a fucking kid, and I was just like messing around, and I'm just like, you know what, man? I want to just like record myself and show off my Club Penguin stuff. Like just show off my costumes, my igloo, my puffles, and all that kind of stuff. And I looked it up, and I'm just like, oh, how the hell do I do this? And I found like unregistered hypercam too. If you guys remember like watching videos from way back in the day, like that big ass like thing in the top left corner of like the screen, you'd be like unregistered hypercam too. Very, very, very nice watermark. And I legit just like recorded it, and like I was the type of person that like didn't have a mic back then or anything like that, so I would like type in the little like chat in the Club Penguin and be like, "Hi YouTube, welcome to my Club Penguin." Like, it was really stupid. Like
YouTube like default music too from the selector.
Like you have like the freaking like funky stuff on. Nah, it was stupid.
Okay, that's I would say what constitutes like when starting in content is like it either depends. It's like when you start your first video. I feel like once you start taking it seriously is where I will count it. Where it's like, yeah, I want to make videos for fun, but it's like you have like a schedule. Like you're starting out, like I will do like a video like every couple of weeks rather than just posting like a video once and then like again like half a year. I feel like that's when I would say it will count. But yeah, if you started ever since 2006, that's a mad move.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I'd say my more like legit content, like where I would like actually like care about the stuff I put out and like actually like talked and edited the videos and stuff like that, even if they weren't good. But we don't talk about that part. I started like back in like 2008. I actually made a channel with one of my in real life friends, and we just shot the shit. Honestly, we just did a ton of random videos together in person. Other times we just record things on our own, like let's plays and that kind of stuff. And it wasn't like anything great, but that's whenever we really started to do it. And we're kids, I'm not gonna lie, we were really young whenever we did that. Because for those that don't know, I'm actually 23 years old. A lot of people may think I'm older based on many different factors, like he started YouTube way back when, he must be older. But I'm 23, so if you like do the math, I guess I was not even legal to have a YouTube channel back then. So I was doing it whenever I was like really, really young. And whenever 2009 came around, like late 2009, pretty much like early 2010, that's whenever like I made my own content, like only like primarily just my own content, and I made like my own channel, and I started doing like more like speedrunning stuff. Like I said, like I did Mario 64, I did Mario Worlds, and those types of games, and I just would speedrun and then also do like some let's plays on the side. funnily enough, my old channel was called Ellie Let's Player. And I wasn't much of a Let's Player. I actually did more speedrunning. So it was kind of ironic, but that's what I mainly did. And then I would say I'm definitely more like into what I do now with my content versus like what I did back then. I think Galactic Elliot was whenever like I actually like figured out like what I wanted to do more than anything else. And I don't really like to go by anything other than Galactic Elliot because I don't feel like my content before I was Galactic Elliot really defined my character or my content for that matter. So, if you want to say like I started in 2011, I guess you could say that too, because that's whenever my content, I'm actually proud of started, I would say.
Okay. So basically you had a channel separately before you did Galactic Elliot. Was there ever like
multiple channels?
Multiple. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was there ever like a turning point where you're like, okay, now I'm gonna try to make active content? If so, what inspired that?
I would say like it was on my channel right before Galactic Elliot, Ellie Let's Player. I just started to like do really well with the content that I was doing, and I started having my videos like going out there more often, and I was just thinking like, wow, this is going really well. I mean, back then I didn't know you could even make money off of YouTube. I didn't know that you could even become partnered or anything like that. Back then you needed to be a part of like one of the 3 major networks if you're a gamer.
I remember.
You had like the Game Station, Yoush, and I guess I guess there's more like 4, but we don't want to talk about Machinima.
TGN and Machinima. Yeah, you had
TGN came in. TGN came in like a little later actually at that point, but yeah, TGN came in and all those things as well. But those are all things back then, and if you wanted to make any sort of revenue, you had to do that. But like Machinima had like the crazy contract where like they had you forever, and like they had like really bad splits. Like I think it was like 60% goes to them, 40% goes to you. Like it was really bad. So I went with Youch. I was happy enough to go with them, which was still pretty bad. It was like 60-30. It was like 65-35, but at least I made the 65. But at the end of the day, whenever I got that like partnership offer, that's whenever I really thought like, wow, that's kind of crazy, because that just shows that this could be more than just something that's a hobby. And back then, that's all I knew it was, a hobby. I wasn't ever thinking about making this, into something more than just something I did for fun. I thought of it as, okay, let me do stuff with friends and have fun with it. And whenever I got that offer, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And that was 2011. So that was kind of like the big turning point, I would say, whenever I started to realize that was possible.
So leading into that, so basically you start as a YouTuber, right? How did you get into Twitch then?
So I always wanted to live stream, but I never really had like a good internet to like do it with, I guess. Like I tried doing some like YouTube live streams before like YouTube gaming was a thing, and like those were really bad. I tried like Ustream before like I even tried Twitch, because I didn't like Justin TV back then. So I tried like Ustream. My internet was really bad. And then over some years, it was like I think like 2014, whenever my content was doing really well on YouTube, I decided to try a Twitch stream. So I did like a one-off. I did like back in the day, winner trades were a thing that were like brand new in Pokemon, like back in Generation 6, where you basically can put in a Pokemon, and then anyone in the world that's winner trading at the same time can maybe get you, and then you'll get their Pokemon. There's you put a Pokemon in, you get a Pokemon back from some random person in the world. And I basically just said, okay, like this is fun to do on YouTube, or I would just do it literally and just talk with my viewers, I guess, on YouTube, like, or just like talk about a subject. Like, why do this like, in post-production whenever I could do this like live with people actually there to like want to trade and maybe even get me? So I tried it, and my first ever stream had like 200 viewers, where I just basically put out a YouTube video. I'm like, hey guys, come to my Twitch and let's have a good time. And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I have like 200 people in like a live stream, my first like legit live stream ever. And like people in chat were popping off. I'm like, holy crap. So I'm like, okay. I told them like, what if I did this a little bit more often, maybe like once every week? And then everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. So I tried it again, and I had like over like 100 people again. I'm like, whoa, this is nuts. And then I just, I just kind of did it like here and there. I didn't want to do it like too often, because I didn't want to like burn what was like maybe like starting something special. I wanted to like, slowly go in with it more and more and more. So I just started to stream, every other week, maybe, once a month, maybe even after I did it like those first 2 times. I just didn't want to like, burn my viewers out, or like make it something that wasn't as special to them.
Mhm,
And I wasn't really like, I didn't really think about streaming too often, but like, you know, I just started doing it more and more. And like every single time I streamed, it was like super, super good. Like it was just a lot of fun. A lot of people came by, and like, you know, I started to like, I started to look at Twitch a little bit more, because back then I didn't watch any live streams. I wasn't really a fan of watching live content. I didn't really get it, you know? Like back then it just wasn't as big, and I just wasn't really like, I liked my YouTube videos. I liked doing them and watching them. But then I started doing it more and more. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So then one time I actually like went into like somebody else's like Twitch channel, and back then if I ever watched live content, it was like a Mario 64 speedrun, you know, because a lot of people did live streams of that, and I was like, you know, a speedrunner back then. I stopped speedrunning whenever I made Galactic Elliot, but you know, back then whenever I watched streams, I only would watch that because I'm like, oh, I want to see like world record runs and stuff like that, because those were really cool. But yeah, I started like looking into like Pokemon live streams and like Smash and like a few games that I really like, and I'm like, whoa, this is actually really cool. And like I just like saw how like other people did like their live streams. I'm like, well, this is like really different than how I do it, because a lot of people that I watched, like they didn't really talk with their chat. But like whenever I did it, I literally like saw live streaming as like something to do with my audience, and it was like really different to me. I'm like, whoa, this is like kind of crazy how different every live streamer can be, because I thought like live streaming was so like one-sided, you know, but like it really wasn't. And I loved it. I really loved talking with a live audience and playing games with like a live audience and getting people involved. And starting in December of 2014, that's whenever I started to go like in on like actual like streaming. Like I made a schedule. I started doing more than just like one thing. I started doing like multiple things. I mostly did Pokemon, but you know, I just tried to go more into it. I did more battling. I did Wonder Trades still. I did Let's Plays. I did like all sorts of challenges. I just wanted to like really like see how much fun this is and how I could do with it. And I obviously had the upper hand in terms of just like starting, because I had a YouTube audience, where a lot of Twitch streamers, if they want to start on Twitch, may have a harder time to like get people in, because they may not have a separate audience to bring it from. So I was definitely like lucky to have a YouTube audience that like watched my stuff already, because it was a little easier to get into Twitch. But after 4 months, I got partnered, and it was crazy because I didn't really try for partnership or anything like that. I just kind of sent an application, and I'm like, oh, well, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't really care. And I got it, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And like I got like emotes and all that kind of stuff. Back then there was like no affiliate program, so like,
yeah, I remember that.
this was like my first time like getting these emotes. I'm like, this is crazy. And then like I had people subscribing. I'm just like, what the hell? What? Like I made money off of YouTube, but like I started to realize, whoa, like people are insanely generous. Like I didn't realize how like I thought subscribing was like a foreign concept. I didn't like.
Really?
Whenever one of my friends told me that like he was gonna go full time in content creation, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Like, what? I was like, this guy's gonna fail. Like, why would he ever even try that? And then I saw like all of his moves and what he was doing, and now he's one of the biggest, you know, YouTube and Twitch streamers of all time. You know, and like it's nuts to see like the moves you can make, and like that inspired me. I'm like, whoa, this dude like made this like his full-time job. And you know, after some time, I was like, wait, I'm doing super well with this too. And like, I was like a senior in high school at that point. I was like 17, turning 18. I was like, this is insane. Like, this is becoming way more than just something that I just started because I was bored and I want to just have fun. This is becoming more of like, you know, a passion project that's evolving into something that I can make like a career, if anything else. And I'm just like, that's crazy. You know, like that still like boggles my mind to this day, you know, after like so many years of doing this. Like what was once just a hobby became more than just a hobby. And I still think like why I started, and you know, I still think like how much fun I have with it, and like how much it's evolved, but it still has its roots of like, okay, I did this because I wanted to just have fun and like meet new people. And to this day, those values still stay the same, but I am able to also make this into more than just something that's a hobby. And it's surreal, you know, it's absolutely surreal.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube, honestly, like I wouldn't really say you got off pretty lucky, but it's more like you were literally doing stuff before the Twitch meta was even evolved to a point where like everything was like oversaturated. I feel like YouTube nowadays is literally mandatory for anything that you want to do on Twitch. Like it is literally unavoidable. You have to do YouTube or like any other social media platform at the very least. And yeah, for you it was basically like, okay, I do YouTube first because you enjoy YouTube, and then you got into live streaming, which is honestly, if anybody would start streaming right now, is what they should be doing. Just YouTube, and then slowly transition to like something else, which is like the things that you want to do. But yeah, so you said you got partnered within 4 months, and as well as also people are very generous to you. How did this keep up over the years for you actually? So did you feel like you've grown over the years to a point where it has either become more sustainable, or have you actually had a decrease in the last couple of years, or like how's like this whole thing been for you, like keeping up as a full-time content creator?
So yeah, I mean, I got partnered in 2015, and you know, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is crazy. And people continued to be very generous and continued to like really support. And like, this is before like bits were a thing. This is before gift subs were a thing. This is before tiered subscriptions were a thing. So it was just raw subscriptions, tier 1. And if people also wanted to support like revenue wise, they could donate. And you know, a lot of people again were very generous. And in that summer, I had to make the decision of whether I go to college or if I just keep doing this. And for 18-year-old Galactic Elliot, I'm just like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And something that has always been a thing with me, and I'm not trying to give any advice to anybody or say that what I did was right or whatever the case is, but whenever I was younger, everyone always asked me like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? Like, what if you go to school, if you go to college, what are you going to major in? What is your dream job? And I always just thought, what the hell? I don't know. I don't even have a dream job. Like, I don't know. I never thought about being a doctor, lawyer, astronaut. Like,
Astronaut.
I don't know. I never had those aspirations, bro. I'm just like, I want to do something that I like. That's all I ever thought of. And whenever I thought about like school, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna major in. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I decided a really hard decision to not go to school yet, because I just thought, you know, if I go to school, I don't know what I'm going to be majoring in. I feel like I'm going to be dumping money into something that I'm not going to know where it's going to. I didn't have any money before that. My family wasn't in a great position to do anything as far as helping me with school, which I'm never going to say, you know, anything bad about that. That's just the position that we were in. And I didn't have, you know, if I was going to go into school, I was going to pile up debt. And I didn't want to pile up debt. I didn't really know what to do. So I told my family, I told my friends, like, listen, I love to go to school and I love to like go into this type of just field and try these things. But A, I don't know what I'm going to be studying for. B, I don't know. I'd be collecting debt for no reason. I feel like if I go to school right now, I'm going to be wasting my time. I'm going to be wasting money, and I'm going to be wasting potential that is in content creation. Because I just started to do really well with Twitch, and my YouTube was doing well, and everything was doing well. I felt very confident in myself and like my content, and I'm like, I could do a lot if I just continue to focus on this. So I did that. I went to TwitchCon a couple months after in September, the first ever TwitchCon, and I met a ton of other streamers, and it was like really insane because I was one of like 500 partners there. Like back then there weren't a lot of partners actually. Like being a partner back then was like crazy. I was a part of this like really small group of people, and I'm just like, back then I didn't realize that until I went to TwitchCon, and then they said like, oh, like in TwitchCon right now there are 500 partners, and I'm like, that's, whenever you look at how many people are around, I'm just like, I'm one of those people. What the hell? Like I'm just some average Joe and I'm a partner. Like that's crazy. And like I went to this like partner party, and like I met like so many of these like really big streamers, and I'm just like, why am I in the same room as them? What the fuck? I was like, what am I doing here? What? And I started to think like, that's crazy. Obviously, you know, things are more saturated now, and you know, it's definitely less of a status of being a partner, which I never thought of as, I never thought myself as being better than anybody else because I was a partner. That's stupid. The fuck? But like, you know, back then I was like, that's crazy, that's insane. And after TwitchCon, I was super duper inspired and motivated to like keep doing this because I saw other people like in kind of the same shoes as me, or maybe people that were in the same shoes as me and have evolved their content. So I just kept on doing it, and I made a schedule, like more hours, more streams. I did like 5 streams a week, maybe sometimes even daily streams. In 2016, I would say I streamed the most hours ever in 2016. I really went in that year. I don't know like what I was like doing, but I just like streamed all the time. I just was so like motivated and inspired, and there's so many fun things to do. Like that was whenever Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were still like the biggest Pokemon games, right before like Sun and Moon came out.
Yeah.
And there is so much to do in that generation of games. I still think about how much there was to do in like Generation 6 and how much I love that generation because it molded so much of what I still do to this day in Pokemon and what I was able to do with like the main series of Pokemon games, which you would think with one game, how many things could you do? And I was doing like 7 different things. I literally like I could do like 7 different things stream wise a week if I wanted to, which is crazy. I didn't do that, but I could have. And at a certain point, I think I streamed like 3 months straight, like every single day. And like I just like was really I was really into it. I was not burnt out at all. And I was just like having so much fun. And I was like really proud of myself and like what I was able to do after, you know, the year before that where I was like, I'm going to college and I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna be doing. And then now I'm just kind of doing something that I love. And 2017, I would say, came around, and like that's whenever I was like a little bit iffy with things. Like I had less things to do. Like Sun and Moon Generation 7 just had less content for me to do, and I felt a little lost in terms of like streaming and like just personal things going on in my life. And I would say I definitely had like a decrease after 2016 for like a couple of years, but 2019 came around, and I would say the last half of 2019 was whenever I started to really pick it back up again. And I actually announced at the end of 2019 that I was going to be a full-time content creator, like putting in the hours of like being full-time and like really like going in with all my resources and making it like actually like full-time. Like I guess if you want to call full-time like just you making this your only source of income, I guess that's one way of calling it full-time. But for me, I never want to call myself a full-time content creator if I wasn't putting in the hours. So I told my viewers, listen, it's time that I put in those hours now. And I would say 2020 was one of the worst years ever in terms of just life, but one of the best years of content I was able to produce, because I was able to really evolve my content and evolve, I guess, like just my personality. I wanted to really put forth like, these are my values. This is what I want to do. This is the community that I want to grow, and I want to do this, and I want to do it this way. And I want my viewers to feel that they're in a safe environment where they could be themselves and they could just hang out. And obviously I always wanted my community to be that way, but I really wanted to put forth those values and make people feel that way rather than just say it, you know? So I really tried to, you know, produce what I was trying to say I wanted to do, and prove that like that is what I want to do it and how I want to do it. So I was happy with that. And I feel like 2021 has gone off to a pretty good start as well, and I'm not looking to slow down at a given point. I'm looking to keep it going and produce more content than just what I know. I want to do. I want to go on my comfort zone a little bit. You know, I want to try new things. I feel that. You know, I want to do more than just one thing compared to like what I've been doing in the past. I don't want to be known as just doing this. I want to be known as me just being Galactic Elliot, and I want to put forth a brand versus Elliot's a streamer that streams this in Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, so like not being known as a Pokemon streamer.
Yeah, exactly. I had a big rebrand a few months ago, and yeah, I mean, my big rebrand is, hey, come on an adventure with me. Let's go around and have some fun, and let's just bring good vibes together and have a good time. So that's basically what I've been trying to put forth.
Yeah, I think that's pretty smart going for that. Just like trying to establish yourself as a brand on your own, rather than I've seen a lot of streamers do the type of thing where they jump in and they're like, oh, I'm just going to be streaming this game, I'm going to be streaming that game. But statistically over time, they drop because they're not really established personalities, and more people who come into that selected genre, they start getting the viewers. So I think like establishing yourself, just being like, hey, you know, I'm here, come for an adventure, like you were saying, that's a really good call. So
Yeah, you also have an insanely nice community, Elliot. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I can agree with that. Like your community building is really really good. I feel like a lot of people confuse it where it's like or a lot of streamers say you cannot really control your community. I absolutely disagree with that. You definitely can. Where it's to a point of like how your chat should behave is literally like 100%, actually 99% on you. It could be like that 1% where you get like a massive raid and then you can't control it anymore, but that happens like how often a year? Like maybe like once or twice. I do feel like you can control your audience really well, and that's one of the things I have seen you excel best at, where it's like literally everybody is having a good time just because you're around. It's pretty much what you've built for yourself, where it's like, hey, I'm here, and then everyone's like, oh, Ellie, let's go. Like they're popping off on your behalf for like almost anything. And even like the stuff you're doing right now, which is literally just like not really every day, but I see you often just doing like Pokemon raids, and people still enjoy it after like months on end. And I feel like it takes a personality to do that, because at some point, just looking at the raids, I'm pretty sure that can get boring when it comes to Pokemon as well. And I'm pretty sure you've been bored like once or twice. You're like, with the raids itself in Pokemon. But hey, two new games are coming out anyway, so there's gonna be a bunch of content for you to do. And which actually, before we go into that, I would actually like to ask something, because you said you talked to your family about going like full time and whatnot. How supportive were like your family and friends when you said like, hey, I want to make this a career? Like how supportive were they like overall? What were like their initial reactions when they came to that?
Yeah, so honestly, I think this is for anybody. It's always gonna be a very like, are you sure? What are you doing? Like, are you sure about that? How much money you're making? Money. Like, that's always gonna be the question. Money. And it makes sense. You know, like you're going to be, you know, building things off, and you're going to college to get a job eventually, and being able to pay things off. So it's like, what is this? How is the future of this looking? My grandfather came to me, and he's super duper successful, and he made a lot of money in his life, and he helped my family out a lot. And he was like, listen, you know, I love you, and I want the best for you. Like, is there a future in this? I don't understand what you're doing. I genuinely, like, I don't want to like talk badly about anything you're doing, because I don't know about it. So tell me what it is. So I told him, and he was like, you know, asking me about money. And I told him like, okay, well, I don't really want to talk about money too much, but like it has potential to do this, and that. And he was just like, oh, okay. And they were very, you know, wishy-washy about it, as you would assume. I think any family would be very wishy-washy about it. But I'm lucky enough to where my family saw what I was doing, saw how happy it made me, and was like, okay, well, you know, if you ever want to go to college, it's always going to be there. If you ever want to do this, it's always going to be there. Just make sure that you're producing, make sure that you're doing well, and don't like, you know, don't burn yourself out, but also like don't slack, you know, keep it up, keep it going. And I, you know, told them like, I have no intentions of ever slacking, and I have no intentions of ever slowing down. I want to make sure that my, you know, mental health is on point, but I also want to make sure that like I'm doing what I can. And I think I'm very lucky to have the community that I do, and I'm very lucky to have the people that have stuck by me since 6 years ago, and then the people that have also just literally came by in the last couple months that have just been super kind. And honestly, like there's some people that come on my stream, like most of my viewers that come on my stream, like I see their name, and like I smile. I'm like, I love this person. I'm so happy to have them here.
Damn.
I'm like, it's really crazy to like, you know, think that way, because like there are so many people that like just come on my stream, and I'm like, yo, like what's up? Like I see them as like they're like my family, you know. It's like, it's crazy. And I feel like that's something that I always wanted to build, a community that I can see as just, you know, my community. This is my like fam. And a lot of people put that label of fam, and I'm just like, okay, like what's their name? Like who are they? It's like,
what's their name?
It's like, hey, you want to call them your family? Who the fuck are they? You know, like I think my community is definitely like, you know, like I see people that like come by, and like they're all talking together, and like they know each other, and it's like really cool. I love that. And I'm not saying my community is the best community ever, you know, I guess objectively speaking, but I am definitely very lucky to have them. And I think your community is very much like a, you know, an extension of you, as the, you know, they should be. And I think like moderators as well are an extension of you. If whatever they do is kind of like on your behalf indirectly, so you always want to bring like the best moderators you can, because if they do something bad, that's going to make you look bad. If they do something good, that's going to be like, oh, they're your moderators, they're doing whatever, they're an extension of you. So if they're doing something good, that means that you're doing something good. So you always want to build that moderation, the moderators to be like kind of an extension of you as well as your community. And I'm really lucky to have just really good people. And at the same time, I kind of built it the way that I wanted to build it. And I guess people have stuck by that wanted to stick by and bring those wholesome content. And people that are like shit posters and they don't have any intentions of doing that kind of stuff, they're like, oh, I don't really vibe with this guy, which is completely fine. Every community is different, right? And some people are going to feel comfortable wherever they go. If they're more of the people that just want to like fuck around, that's fine. I fuck around all the time too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, people that come by will see my personality and they'll be like, oh, I don't really vibe with this guy. This guy's too much of this or that. Or, wow, this guy's really awesome. I think I vibe with him. And, that's just how it is. But going back to the main point, my family was pretty lax about it overall, I would say, in comparison to other families that are very hard on others. And they're, I guess, what they end up doing. Like their just overall dedication to what they do and how they do it. And I guess something that I was able to like succeed in is, in terms of like telling my family I'm not going to college, I'm going to do this full time, is my numbers could back me up a little bit. And I was lucky enough to be able to do that, because it's not an easy decision to make. You need to be able to back yourself up if you're going to say, I'm going to do this full time. You need to, because if you're going to make this decision, but then you're like, oh, well, I averaged this and I averaged that. And, 1 month I was like this, like, they're going to tell you, listen, like, you're ambitious, but you need to be able to like be confident in what you can do and see that potential more than just blinds expectations. And I guess I was able to convince them in a way where, hey, I had really good months and it can only get better from here. And I was putting in that work. And I wanted to, more than anything else, after I told my family this, I wanted to prove it to them. And I think 2016 was the time where I really had that like motivation to like prove that I can do this. And I've still been feeling that way, where I, now I moved out recently. I moved away. I live with one of my like best friends, Josh, and I need to pay bills now. I need to, I got a car. I need to pay for my insurance. I need to pay for all these different things.
You need to be an adult now, yeah.
I'm a full-time adult now, and I need to make sure like I'm able to like take care of myself. So more than anything else, now that I moved out and it's like legit full time, where I'm not just able to save money, but now I have to like spend all this money on like bills and shit, I need to make sure I can back up what I say I'm doing. And
absolutely,
so far over the past 5 months now, I feel like I've been doing a really good job, and I'm very happy with that.
Oh yeah,
but I need to continue that. I can't just say, okay, I've done really well so far, and then just slow down. I gotta keep it up. So
absolutely,
now I have something else to prove. And it's definitely hard. And obviously, whenever you're a full-time content creator, you're self-employed. You have to make your own hours. You got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You got to make sure that you're able to take care of your mental health and all these other factors. And as somebody that just moved out, I've been trying to make sure like I'm good. And I'm able to afford everything, but also be able to take care of myself all at the same time and be healthy. And then you also, since you're self-employed, you also have crazy ass taxes, and I need to make sure my taxes are good. And bro, like,
I know that struggle.
The moral of the story is, with what I'm trying to say about taxes, is if you want to become a full-time content creator, know what you're getting into. You know what you're getting yourself into first, because it may seem fun and amazing, but it's also one of the hardest jobs to maintain ever, because it's volatile, it's expensive, and it's hard to maintain in terms of just your health. You'll have one off month and your mental health can deteriorate. So you got to make sure you gotta make sure you're doing this and you're absolutely positive that you can make it happen. So
absolutely,
that's my advice, I guess, for anybody that may be listening or may even think about full-time content creation. You gotta make sure you're 110% good to go. Because if you're not, then you won't succeed.
Oh yeah, it takes a differently built person to like keep content creation up for like several years, because it's not only like you doing well like financially, it's also like the mental pressure of for example, for me, I don't really care what people think of me, but I know there's a lot of content creators that do. So if there's anything that happens, like they either worst case scenario, they get canceled for something, or they get like or anything happens on stream, they get raided for several months or like trolled or whatnot, or you know, insulted for like months on end, can take a toll on your mental health. It absolutely can. So not only is like the job you've built up for several years, your dream job, suddenly like that, it's just gone, it's just vaporized. It's, you don't enjoy streaming as much anymore because there's always like toxic people coming to your stream. You don't enjoy it as much anymore. It's not controlled as well just because you might have fucked up once. Like it doesn't even have to be anything big. It could just be like a clip that becomes a meme and you're just always known as that person that did that, and there's like barely any way to get rid of it unless you like completely clean your name. And I don't think that's really possible, because there's always going to be that one guy that's still there. It's like, hey, wait, aren't you that guy that did that? You know, like, or anything like that. I know a couple of people who did that in content. Several people who were like featured at GDQ, and were either just not really any. They didn't really do anything bad, but they were either just like really like quote unquote annoying for people. They didn't really enjoy them as much, and then it's just like, oh, weren't you the guy who did this at GDQ? And it just never got rid of it, even if you changed the brand name and everything. So it takes a differently built person. Definitely agree. You seem to have been doing well mental health wise this year, though, from what I can tell.
Yeah, no, I've been definitely trying to make sure my expectations aren't crazy. I'm always like very level headed, I would say, and a lot of people tend to say that I'm, you know, I guess level headed in terms of just my expectations. And I mean, you kind of have to be. And I've been doing this for such a long time. I'm a fucking internet boomer, so I better be equipped. I better be equipped to this shit, man. Like whenever I was a kid, I had people talking shit about me, and I would just take it so to heart. But then over time, I'm like, why do I give a fuck what they think about me? I don't give a shit, you know. Like you have to have that hard head, you know. If someone goes by my stream and says like, "Oh, you fucking look ugly as shit," I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I fucking know, dude." And then you know, you gotta make sure like you're like the bigger person. Like if you're gonna like talk shit back, you're just like, oh well, you know, they got what they wanted. So sometimes you have to just like, you know, you have to know how the trolls are, and you have to know how these people are, and you gotta like kind of like play with them a little bit. Like I've had so many people come in and like talk shit, and like they expect to just be banned or have like the streamer like cry or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, you're right, man, let's go. And like then they're like, wait, you're actually really chill. I'm like, bro, I'm just here to fuck around and have fun. Like, what do you think this is? Like, who's gonna take this that seriously? Where you're gonna ruin my fucking day by calling me like this name? I don't give a shit, bro. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, you know? Like, I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, everyone's gonna take that differently, and you gotta have that like mindset where it's like, okay, well, hey, what really matters, right? Like, is somebody that's gonna come by and talk shit gonna be the person that's gonna matter at the end of the day? No, they're not. What's gonna matter is if I can do what I love to do and I can put a smile on somebody's face. Because my motto, one of my mottos, I would say, one of the most important values in my life, not just like within my job, is if I can put a smile on somebody's face at least one time a day, I know I did a good thing that day. And I know it's a really cliche thing and a very like cheesy thing, but I want to be able to like have that effect where I can say something fucking stupid as hell and maybe it can make somebody chuckle. You know, if they had a really bad day, like make somebody smile. Like just by being myself, just by doing what I do. And if I could do that, then I know like that day was great. And that's what really matters to me. Not some dude that's gonna come by and I don't know who the hell they are. Like, why do I care? Like, even if my friend talks shit about me and like they genuinely mean that, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Who cares? Like, whatever.
It's part
if
of
some random person comes by, bro, say it to my face. I don't give a fuck. Like, I will laugh with you. I will laugh with you. At the end of the day, like, I don't care, you know? What I care about is being a positive force or just being entertaining, you know? Like, I that's my main thing. I want to bring some sort of joy to somebody, whether it be from something stupid I do or something just nice that I do. Like, whatever it is, just for me. And yeah, that's my main thing.
Yeah. I would have to disagree on one thing you said, which is that you're ugly. I saw your Instagram. You had a massive glow up. You had a glow up in the last couple of years. I'm not gonna lie. Like, You definitely had a glow up, and I also saw that you were. I also saw the pictures of the conventions. I dig deep. Like I went down the list. I saw you at
my man
conventions
was
and
talking me. I bet. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I feel like that's part of social media culture. You just scroll down someone to like 2019. You're like, wait, it's been half an hour.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, like, yo, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw the pictures of the convention, and I was actually wondering, did you ever have any weird fan interactions? Or let me phrase it like this: what was your weirdest fan interaction? Because I would really love to know that if you had any.
So here's my thing, right? Like, we're on the internet, right?
Yeah.
You're always gonna have people from all sorts of different, I guess, just realms. You're gonna have kids, you're gonna have adults, you're gonna have people way older than you, way younger than you, whatever. And you're also gonna have people that are a little awkward. Maybe people that may not be, 100%, and that's fine.
Yeah.
My content's gonna reach everybody, and I'm not gonna judge anybody for who they are. So if anybody's a little awkward, that's completely fine. If they come up to me and say, "Hey, I love your stuff," or "Hey, Elliot, what's up?" That's fine. I'm completely okay with that. But I think the weirdest thing was I was at PAX East a few years ago, and this guy came up to me, and like I don't have any like that ill intent to this person, and like if they're watching this, like I don't mind, that's fine. But like they came up to me and said like, "Hey, are you Galactic Elliot?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" It's like, "Hey, I follow you on Twitter." I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" And then like they came and like gave me like a hug like forcefully. I'm like, "Whoa, chill," like whatever. Like I didn't like make any like I didn't like think anything badly of it, but like they came up to me and like they like didn't like they didn't even like bother to ask if like it's okay or whatever. They just came and like gave me like a big hug, and I'm just like, "That's cool, whatever." But like I told the dude, I'm like, "Hey, like how's it going?" It's like, yeah, like overall, whenever you go to a convention, you got to make sure like the person's like comfortable, right? Like whether they're a streamer, YouTuber, or if they're just some random person, like I always, whenever I meet somebody for the first time, I don't really know them that well. I've never even met them before. I always say, "Hey, like, are you a hugger, or you do handshakes?" Not either. And they always like appreciate that I do that, because some people will be a little uncomfortable. They may be like, "Oh, like I don't like hugs," or like, "Oh, like that's not my thing." If I know somebody, then yeah, I'm gonna go and fucking tackle hug them, because I know they want it. I know that they're cool with that. I'm a hugger.
Really?
Hugger,
okay.
If I don't know you though, I may be a little bit weirded out if you come up and just fucking hug me if I don't know who you are. The person doesn't even watch my stuff. They just followed me on Twitter, and then they just came up and like gave me like a hug, and like they like did it in a very weird way, and I was a little uncomfortable. But like that was the weirdest interaction I've ever had, and that's not even a bad interaction.
No,
that is just the weirdest interaction, and that's nothing wrong with that. Just moral of the story is, if you're ever at an event, I think it's always a good thing to ask, like, are you a hugger? Like, do you do hugs, or do you do handshakes? Like, you want to make sure that you're not making somebody uncomfortable. And I know a lot of people may not even think about that, and that's completely fine. If you've never even thought of that, that's fine. That's completely okay. If you've ever maybe even given someone a hug and they didn't even ask, and you didn't even know them that well, some people won't mind. That's fine. I personally don't mind really, but like, I at least want to know your name, at least tell me your name. Let's just say you follow me on Twitter, then hug me. I'm just like, tell me your name first. Who are you? Like, how do you know me? And like, what do you like about me? Why do you want to give me a hug? Like,
it's like a questionnaire. Like you sit down, you're like, hold on. All right, so what's your name? All right, now you can go for it. Now, okay, I'll remember that you're a hug. I'll remember that. I'll remember you're a big hug. I'll remember that.
Nah, bro. No, if I mean you do, like, come and fucking hug me, bro. Like, you're my friend. Like, if you're a hugger, that is. Like, bro.
I don't think I
meet
personally
John, I'd be like, bro,
but...
like, are you a handshaker? Like,
a handshake.
Whatever.
I don't personally think I'm a hugger, but it's like I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like,
I like the bro hug. Like you go in, give them a nice like tap on the back.
You tuck in, you're like, all right.
Yeah, what's good, bro? How you doing?
I think that's cool.
I think fist bumps are also really
fist bumps
nice.
are the way to go for me.
Fist bump is the tried and true.
That's the tried and true. Yeah.
You can never go wrong with a fist bump.
Honestly,
I always fist bump. Like,
if you're ever like, if you're watching this and you're unsure about meeting something, fist bump. If you fist bump me, I'll fucks with it. Like, it works every time. That's the way to my heart. Just fist bump me. Even if you're a girl, please just fist bump me instead. Like, for the most part.
I don't see anything wrong with that. If you ask me like, hey, are you a hugger? I will say yes, and you can give me a hug. But if you're not sure, be like, yo, what's up, Ellie? How you doing? Fist bump. I fist bump you back. We're chilling. Whenever I was at PAX East last year, which is actually at the literally right before COVID, a lot of people may not know, PAX East is a convention, by the way. It's a convention that happens in Boston every year, usually, except for this year. And it's usually in March/April. But last year, in 2020, last year, it actually happened in the end of February, and a lot of people didn't go because they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be so cold. Like, why is it in February? That's such a bad time." And I swear, the people that like scheduled PAX that year just knew that like COVID's gonna happen in March because it was able to happen. Like,
damn.
I think Facebook Gaming, Sony, and like a couple other companies, pretty big companies, mind you, did withdraw last minute from PAX because they heard about COVID like in February. Like, it was a thing that was being talked about, and like people were definitely worried, and some people didn't go because of it. But it wasn't like as viral as it became in March, but it still happened, and it was one of the last conventions that was able to happen in such a high volume. And whenever we were all there, we were all like kind of worried, like, oh shit, like maybe we should be a little bit more careful. I was rooming with somebody that was literally coughing massively, and I'm just like, oh no. Like, I was like,
oh shit.
I was in the same room as them. I'm like, oh jeez, I hope they don't have it. I hope they don't have it. Like, because it's a cold, but like, you know, we're all bugging out. We're like, what the fuck's going on? And like, anytime I would meet somebody, like, we would be like, you know, elbow. Like, that's how we did it in PAX last year. Elbow touch, because not even like a fist bump was like safe enough. You know, we're all fucking so worried. But then I saw one of my friends. I'm like, bro, if you give me COVID, I don't give a shit. I can give them a hug, like whatever.
Damn.
But this is February, mind you. We didn't even know that much about it. Like, obviously it was March or like whatever. If I was a little bit more like, you know, smart about it or like knew more about it, I wouldn't have done that. But like in February, we did elbows. Or if I knew somebody well enough and I missed them a lot, I just gave them a hug. But I probably shouldn't have done that. But we're all fine. I mean, I'm surprised not many people got sick that year because it was a really big convention. PAX East is also one of the conventions where you have some of the biggest cases of people that just don't shower. People that don't have the best hygiene. I think that's most gaming conventions. I'm not trying to build a stigma around gaming or whatever.
The Smash community could sing a song about that.
Yeah, I mean, I went to HGDQ for the first time last year, and I needed to shower, I think, twice a day at that convention.
Really? Crazy.
I mean, I didn't, you know, everyone that I met was like super clean, super nice, but then I saw some people, and I'm just like, oh god. So the moral of the story, you guys may think I'm a fucking like asshole if you hear me say this, but I don't think these are bad things to think about. Shower, deodorant, really important. Please do it, especially if you're going to a convention. I don't care what you're doing in your room. I don't care what you're doing in your own house, but please, if you're going to a convention, just shower every day, wash your hands, deodorant. It's not hard. You just do it for other people. Don't even do it for yourself, because that's how people get sick. It's just people that are not keeping their hygiene up, and a lot of people get sick after cons. And in general, just it's important. Take care of yourself.
Like, you're definitely not being an asshole for that. You said it way nicer than I would ever say it. I would honestly like, I'm gonna be real. You say stuff that I would like to say in a way nicer tone. I'm gonna just keep that in mind for future stuff. If I ever get canceled, I just let you do the talking. It's like, listen, man, like, it was just a really hard time. Like, I don't mean to be an asshole, and I don't even mean to him, but like, listen. Nah, but on the real, my take would be, if somebody ruins the con by spelling bad, I'll throw them out. Like, straight up. Either that, or you tell them, and it's like, all right, you gotta go. Like, that's it. Like, that's all I would do personally. I'm not nice about that type of stuff, because it's like, it kind of can ruin the experience for like everyone involved. Literally, like, it's like one person can literally ruin like stuff for the masses for like a solid amount of time, and
it's usually random people. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
it's never like a content creator. It's always like this one random ass dude, like.
Like, oh god, like, Jesus, and like, or like, you just at like the expo hall and you're just like in a line, and then you're just like, oh Jesus Christ. But you know, whoever this reaches out to, you know, there's a reason why, you know,
please fucking shower.
Boots, there are reasons why those boots would have deodorant sticks for free for you stinky motherfuckers.
Do? Really?
Yeah, there was a Twitch booth at PAX like in 2016, and they literally were giving out deodorant sticks.
No way! That's so crazy.
It's bad, bro. It's bad. They even know that motherfuckers be stinky. So, you know.
Oh, they know the meta.
At the end of the day, like, whenever you have companies giving away deodorant sticks, it's not because they are trying to be nice. They're trying to tell you to motherfucking shower. So I'm just saying.
No, that's crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to the initial topic, which is the fan interactions, you actually had it a lot nicer than like a lot of people that I know when it comes to like a bad fan interaction. Yeah. Like you,
that wasn't even bad. That was just weird.
Nah, you came off clean. I know people, me included, who had like horrible interactions, and the thing is, for me, I don't really mind them, because I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, if people follow me to like go eat something as well, I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't really care, and stuff like that. I just know like if other people would be put in a situation, they would like freak out because they're like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this.
I've had a lot of people that follow. Yeah, no, it happens a lot. Like I'm just like with my own group, and then somebody comes to me and says, "Yo, Elliot, what's up? How you doing? I love your stuff." And then they're like, awkwardly like standing behind me, and like I don't mind it at all. I'm just like, hey, if they don't have anywhere to go, it's fine. But like whenever it comes down to like, okay, I'm about to leave the con, I will tell them like, hey, like we're about to go, like do like our own thing, just want to let you know. And then usually they're like, oh, no worries, and no worries at all. Like,
oh, now they get it.
They just be nice with them. If you're gonna go do your own thing with your own friends, like you just tell them like, hey, listen, like we're about to leave, like I just want to let you know. Absolutely. Like it was nice meeting you. You have a nice dismissal, that's it. Like you don't have to be a dick about it, you don't have to be rude about it, it's all good. Or if you don't mind that they're tagging along, that's fine. Just at the end of the day, you have to be 100% open about it, and you have to be honest about it, and they will most of the time be like, oh yeah, it's fine, and they're not gonna take it personally.
I think you just gotta tell people honestly, where it's like even as a fan, I would personally just go up to people and be like, hey, like would you be cool with that if I like join you as well for lunch? Because then I would be like, yeah, sure, no problem. But it's just like I feel like for most people it's just this awkward silence of just somebody like standing behind you. Right, it's like they're just there.
And I don't mind it even.
I don't mind it either. No, but it's like I feel like a majority of people do. Like we're definitely exceptions when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like some people would just be freaked out. Like, why is this guy following me? Like,
And at the end of the day,
it's like, do you want a selfie? Do you just want to eat? Like, what the fuck do you want? Like.
And at the end of the day, if you're that person that's gonna awkwardly like follow somebody, and I don't even think I don't say awkwardly in a bad way, by the way. I think awkward is not bad.
You're so nice about everything. It's insane.
I don't know how you do it, man.
You're built different. Like, you're just the definition of built different. Like,
but at the end of the day, like, be like, hey, like, is it cool if I join you guys? And I may say, hey, we're gonna be a bit busy, like, thanks for asking though. And then they'll be like, oh, no worries. I think that if they know that they're not gonna be a burden, they will feel a lot better, right? Like if you say, yeah, sure, come along, they'll be like, oh, my anxiety's gone, or like my anxiety like is so much better now. Yeah, at the end of the day, like that's how the people are. If they just start following you, they may even think like, man, I feel like I'm not like supposed to be here. Like I don't know what to do. And if I just leave right now, it has to be weird. Like you have like all these thoughts in your head, like So at the end of the day, it's like,
follows you for half an hour, randomly goes away.
Like, where are we going? What the fuck?
Nah, that's fine. I get that.
Just ask. Be like, hey, like, is it cool if I tag along? And they'd be like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's as simple
we're
as that.
Busy. We're actually gonna go around and like talk to like certain like businesses or companies or whatever. So like, if you want, you could follow us, but like, it's gonna be a little boring because we're just gonna be talking to companies. Mm-hmm. That's usually how I am. If I remember like networking and I have like people like following me and whatever, I'm just gonna tell them like, hey, like, just letting you know, it's cool that you guys are here. We're just gonna be talking to random fucking companies and random networking, and like, it may be a little bit boring for you because you don't do that kind of stuff, or you don't really mess with that kind of stuff. So if you want to follow us, that's fine. That's completely okay. But like, if you ever want to leave, hey, nothing wrong with that either. And yeah, it's usually fine. So
yeah, I've
been doing the whole convention shenanigans for so many years, and like, I really I love it. It's some of the most fun times I've ever had.
I agree. It's super fun.
I've been so depressed, dude. Like, I haven't been to a convention since last PAX, and last PAX, it was a year ago at this point, literally a year ago, maybe a year and a week ago. And it feels like it was 5 years ago. Like, this past year has both felt like an eternity and like also like a week long. Like it feels like it was just yesterday, but it also feels like it was like 5 years ago. I feel like I've aged like more than 1 year. It's crazy. It's nuts. But like, I just can't wait until like we can have another like event again, you know. And I know you do Smash and you do all these sorts of events as well, so I'm sure you're definitely in that same boat. And can't wait. Like I cannot wait, man.
For me, it's more frequent than I feel like for me it's more frequent than regular content creators because before I did Smash, I did speedrunning like as like a general thing, and for that you pretty much had like ESA, GDQ. That those were things that happened maybe for every like on average if you're like a speedrunner who takes it seriously maybe like 2 to 3 times a year. Smash tournaments, oh, you gotta pop up every single month for every single major, maybe even bi-weekly sometimes going back to back. You're busy. Not only that, but you're spending a ton of money on just the chance of getting money back. It's like a return. It's like playing like it's like playing competitive blackjack, but it's actually like with skill involved, where it's like, yeah, like, all right, am I gonna win this time or not? And as well as also like just generally going to conventions and whatnot, it also takes a toll on your body. You have to, I had last year in 2019, not 2020, 2019 I had to travel to like 6 different countries, or I wanted to travel to 4 different countries in a matter of a month, where it's like Spain, Italy, Austria, USA. Like I was literally like, okay, cool, I gotta go back to back to back to back, and it's like, oh nah, COVID's there, and I'm like, okay, I'm like grateful that I don't destroy my body, but I'm also like, that sucks for everything I'm doing. It sucks for viewership. It sucks for like whatever, really.
You want to get you out there and like, you know, grind and like get your name out there and stuff.
Yeah, obviously
so
it's the
like...
reason I compete. Like I do content create, like I diverse content creating and like pretty much business is like the same thing. I have like 2 things in life, which is like one fighting. I count Smash as that and actual martial arts, and then the other one is business, which is content creation and like general stuff as well. Since I've been self-employed since I'm like 18, but it's just like that taking a toll on you is just like, it just decreases chances and opportunities and whatnot. And yeah, what were you about to say, John? You were about to say something.
I was just like active with tournaments because like I've actually like I don't really do Smash stuff nowadays, but I did Smash like way before you, like Smash 4.
Yeah.
Like even me traveling, because like I was like South Florida, now I'm like kind of like random Florida. So I would go South Florida, Central Florida, North Florida, all these different things for all these different events. They weren't even majors, and I'd be spending like $50 bare minimum. Meanwhile, going to CEO, that was like the big Florida tournament. And then there's also Tampa Never Sleeps, which I tried to go to too. Hundreds of dollars you're spending. Meanwhile, Akko over here, it's like, I want to go to the US. I'm going to spend $2,000. It's like, I'm going to come out, maybe make $70 in profit. No, not $70 in profit. More like you're spending $2,000.
I'm winning. I'm getting top 8. No, I'm traveling for 20 hours. I need to be there a week. Like I can tell you the process of how it is as a European traveling to the US for Smash tournaments, because that's probably interesting as well. Traveling is hell. As a citizen that is not living in the United States, or like anywhere really, you can be from like Japan traveling to the United States, it is hell. You literally need to spend $2,000 on the flight, and not actually, you need to spend $2,000 on like a quote-unquote vacation, which is like you're there a week before the actual tournament, and the only reason you're there is because your sleep schedule is so fucked. You need to adjust to it. You need to adjust to the sleep schedule. You need to adjust to Smash offline, because Smash online is insanely bad, and then you need to play well on a sleep schedule you're not used to. You probably lived off of fast food for a week because you can't fucking cook in an Airbnb, and then you gotta perform well, be awake, and then probably do some other fan interaction as well because I'm a content creator. And then I get top 8 at Evo and make $70, and then I go home. Or like 100. Okay, sorry. Last year's Evo was a bit better. 120. 120.
Hey, at least it's not Evo Japan. You're not getting a pro controller. So.
I mean, honestly, the Pro Controller would probably have more value. I'll probably make like 200 with that. But again, I am glad I'm doing other fighting games this year. That's gonna be like to be fair. But yeah, like not being able to travel sucks. It's honestly like, especially if you're a person who is in content. If you're just somebody who just travels for fun, it's like whatever. But if you're in content, it's literally missed out opportunities on sponsorships, missed opportunities on meeting new content creators, collaborating, etc. Making connections via Twitter ain't it. Although I was very lucky with Elliot, who like immediately was down. But nah, I mean, for me usually it is easy to get collaborations going with people because I just literally have to say hi and they're like, oh, hello. It's like, I don't know, it's just something there. I've seen a lot of other people, even like John included in this call, just get no response. It's like we literally didn't, like, it wasn't really an experiment, but we literally approached the same person twice. John never got an answer, was shell shocked for a day. I asked him a day later, 5-minute response. Hey, I'm there, I'm down. Like, it's very interesting to see, honestly. I feel like maybe it has something to do with branding, but I don't really get it. It's very, very different.
At the end of the day, I mean, it also depends on how you approach the person.
Very true.
And like how you word things and like, you know, what you bring to the table. It's like, okay, well, you're going to be taking time out of my day. So what am I going to be giving, you know, what am I getting in return for my time? And at the end of the day, you know, I'm pretty easygoing. You guys probably already know that.
Oh yeah,
whenever you hit me up, I was like, yo, I'm fucking down to meet new people and hang out. Like, that's my fucking brand, you know? Like, I want to meet new people and hang out.
You were probably the easiest to approach, personally.
I appreciate that, man.
I feel like out of all the people we did for the Detached group that I made like in the last like couple months, I feel like you were one of the people that I didn't know. I was one of the easiest to reach out, just because it was actually interestingly enough, I saw your roommate first, which is another question I was gonna ask on how you actually met him. I met him actually, but I saw him first on his stream, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's check his YouTube section. Who else is there? Because I was just running around. I'm like, yeah, okay, who can I collaborate with the next couple of months that are interesting? I hit him up, no response. I looked at your channel. I'm like, okay, this guy is nice as shit. Like I saw your YouTube first before I saw your Twitch. I saw I don't know what Egglog or something like that, where it's like your Twitch trailer pretty much, and I'm like, okay, you are way too fucking nice. Like, what's like there's like you're hiding something. Then I go on your Twitch and I'm like, wait, nah, it's just actually a person like that. It's like, all right, cool. I'm like, you're hiding someone in your basement. You're way too nice for this.
I need to get my shit out there. Utopian society and dystopia.
But nah, I saw you. I'm like, all right, hit you up there. Got responsive in like I think 2 hours, 3 hours. You're like, yeah, I'm super down. I'm like, all right, perfect, cool. That works for me. But yeah, actually, which leads me to my question now. How did you meet your roommate that you currently live with, as well as also all the other people you've worked with in the past, specifically Pokemon? Because I've seen on your channel, I've seen PulseFX, Kizaron, a bunch of other people, or like on similar channels at least. How did that get across? Like, how did all of you guys meet? Was it like a Discord or something, or what was the story behind that?
Honestly, dude, I just know so many fucking people, like from all across, like so many different boards. You will probably see me in some other person's chat that you wouldn't expect me to
I saw you in Mango's chat and I popped off.
Yeah,
I was like, that's my guy.
Mango. I love Mango.
I love Mango.
But
yeah.
you know, dude, I watch everyone. I hang out in so many different communities, and I think that goes hand in hand with like what I've been doing throughout the many years of content creation. I play a lot of games. I've speedran different games. I've played a lot of Smash in the past, as well as other games, just period. I play lots of Pokemon. It's like my main thing because that's just how I kind of grew. And there's so much you could do in Pokemon. I love Pokemon. It's like one of the best franchises ever, in my opinion. But yeah, I met Josh actually back around almost 8 years ago at this point. 2013, I met him. And the way that I met him actually was through some other dude. I don't really want to talk about him. He actually got canceled. It was a great person, period. Okay. But the way that we all basically met, it was like 5 of us, including that person that got canceled. And we all met because we love Pokemon and sports. I love sports, like American sports, like basketball, baseball, football, that kind of stuff. But I'm a huge basketball and baseball person. Those are my 2 favorite sports. And Josh, who I'm rooming with, a 4chan gamer, he's a huge baseball fan. So he basically, you know, we all kind of just vibe together based off of Pokemon and sports. And we were just like, okay, like let's, you know, fuck around, let's talk, let's hang out. Like back in the day, this is before Discord was the thing, we had Skype. We talked on Skype all the time. And yeah, it's crazy to say back in the day because that doesn't feel that long ago, but it really was. And yeah, we just talked on Skype, we shot the shit, and then at one point, you know, me and Josh, we decided to do a YouTube series together. And back then I had like 6,000 subs and he had like 100. And a lot of people would be like, oh wow, like why are you doing a series with him? Who is he? I'm just like, he's my friend. Like, I don't do content with people because I think, oh, they have numbers, I want to get viewers or whatever. You know, obviously it'd be nice to get my community out there to other communities. It's and part of get seen by other people. But Me and Josh, we I vibe with him really well. We did a lot of things together, and like I'm just like, let's do a series, like whatever. And like we had a lot of fun. It did really well, and his YouTube started to grow a lot more over time. I saw the potential in him. Like I thought this guy was really fun. He's really cool. He's really talented. He has a lot of he's really knowledgeable. Like he knows his shit, and he's really good, and he's really cool. And like a lot of my friends, by the way, like they weren't huge on YouTube. They were pretty small back then, actually. And then I saw that potential, and I'm like, listen, man, like if I can have this growth, you could definitely have this growth. So we just did stuff together, and they all honestly really inspired and motivated me to like do different things and like have a lot of fun like with these different challenges. And despite me being bigger than them, it didn't really matter because they grew with me, and now we're all together through the roof, man. Like we're all killing it. So it's been nice, and that's basically how we met and how we've grown to like be closer and closer and closer. We later on figured out that we're both from New York, but we actually met in Boston for PAX East, and in in fucking Long Beach before we met in New York. Like we met in like 2 different states before we met in New York because we just never met up in New York. We just saw each other at conventions, and we're just like, oh, what the fuck? Why are we not like hanging out in person? Like you live an hour away from me. Let's just meet up in the middle and let's just hang out. And like then we just started doing more like IRL stuff together. Like I just went over to his house. We did like a co-op series together in person, and we're like, dude, this is so much fucking fun. Holy shit. Like it's so fucking awesome. We lived so like close together, and like overall we like roomed at conventions, this and that. And then at one point we're like, why don't we just like fucking move out? Like, his big thing was he didn't have good internet, and the location that he lived in was a monopoly where they had a really bad internet provider. Like it would crash like every like stream he did. It was just bad. It was not sustainable. And I moved out because my family is not in the best financial situation, as I mentioned before, and they will eventually need to like we sold our house a few years ago, and they live in like in a townhouse, and they need to eventually get their own place for just them two. So I'm just like, I might as well find my own place to push them to find their own place, because paying for this big townhouse with the money that we got from selling our house, it's not smart. It's just that money is gonna end up going nowhere, and they're not gonna have any money to live off of. So I'm like, I should move out, and I should do my own thing and be completely independent, and let them figure out what they're gonna do with their living situation next. So me and Josh moved out a few months ago, and yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really different and really crazy, and definitely like stressful here and there, but we were able to both do our thing, and we're able to both succeed, and we're able to do a lot of just different collabs together. And it's really cool because sometimes like he'll like come to my room and be like, yo, can I borrow this game? Oh, can I borrow this controller? Can I borrow this, like, can I borrow your Switch for a second? Like these things that like you would only be able to do if you lived with another content creator that like
Pretty
does like
much.
similar content to you. And like we're able to like kind of I guess like eat off each other in that way. Like we can just borrow things. We can like if we want like tech help, like we can like hit each other up, be like, yo, can you help me out with my camera? Like, can you help me out with my computer? Like, can you look this over for me real quick? Like it's really cool to like live with someone that's like also a content creator, because these are things that you wouldn't be able to do with like living with mostly anyone else.
It's also shared success, to be honest, because if one person's doing well, you like their community immediately knows the other, and that is definitely also a good part of it, I would say. And
yeah, like anytime I go into his room, it's like, yo, Elliot, and like he has like literally like he has an emote of my face. Like you know about the emote, right?
I saw
like,
it. I saw it, but for
yeah.
everybody who doesn't know the backstory, I saw a tweet of of Josh saying Elliot should speedrun Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's just him running away saying no with his face. It's really it's a really funny meme in itself. And yeah, I also assume you're a lot happier now that you moved out, aren't you? Like that you like live with another content creator in itself and don't really fear your parents anymore.
Honestly, I feel like I would be a lot happier if COVID wasn't a thing. I feel like we haven't been able to do a lot because of COVID. Like one of the things that I wanted to do whenever I moved out was like host more people and like do like more stuff, like living on my own, and be able to like go out more and like do this and that. And COVID definitely isn't giving me that like lifestyle that I kind of wanted to have whenever I moved out. But at the same time, I'm happy I moved out. I definitely am happier that I have my own space, that I don't really have to like worry about like my family and this and that and more personal things, just period. But I could be even happier, and I'm so excited for just what's to come now that I am moved out. And if this isn't the best that it's going to be right now, it's only going to get better, and I'm really excited
yeah,
for,
absolutely.
like
I'm
stuff, so
yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, you've been doing well overall in this year especially, and I feel like this is like definitely like something that will be just done over time. Like in the next couple of months, you're actually going to be able to like either go to a convention again or actually like do more content, even if like like you're still at home.
Be in a better headspace, right? Like I feel like there's some cases where whenever we're not making content, we want to go out, get breath of fresh air. We want to go out and like get some like food with friends and like be able to like be more social, be able to like like after you're done like streaming or recording or whatever, you're just like, oh, I'm so tired, and like being in the house all day, and it's just like it's stressful. Like I need to like be able to like go out and like enjoy myself a little bit too, to like get rid of that like energy that I'm have like kept in, that like I'm not able to really exert. Like it's weird to like kind of explain, but whenever you're like home doing this all day, like you feel an exhaustion, but you also feel so much energy at the same time because you're not like active, you're not like doing other shit. And like I feel like whenever before this whole COVID thing was happening, I had all this like leftover energy, and like I'd be going out with friends and being able to like do more things and conventions, and then I get home and I'd be like, oh, like, okay, great day, I'm able to like go to bed, and then I'm able to just pass out. Now whenever I go to bed, I'm just like, man, I feel like there's just something I haven't done today, and like I feel like I need to do more within my day, and being moved out, like I want to be able to do more stuff. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for like what's to come in the future. I could be a lot happier, and I'm excited to like have that like actually happen. And
absolutely, yeah,
the opportunities, man, like there's so many opportunities, so I'm definitely really excited and stoked to see what's gonna come next.
Yeah, speaking of opportunities, the new Pokemon games, let's talk about it. So what's your take on it, and do you have anything prepared? Do you have a game plan going to the new games, or are you just gonna enjoy yourself? Are you maybe actually gonna go back into doing some YouTube content with those games as well?
So yeah, my YouTube, I'm sure you guys probably already saw, like I have not been really posting on YouTube lately, and the reason why is I really don't have like an idea, like I don't really have a game plan with YouTube right now. The thing with YouTube is like I know all about the algorithm, I know how it works, and I know how to succeed and build off of it. The question is what kind of content am I gonna do to make that kind of thing happen, and how am I going to execute that and make it work? And I need to figure out what I'm going to do for YouTube. Am I just going to do something on Twitch and then build it into a YouTube video? Am I going to make completely original content? You could build your YouTube off of both. Either. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a lot of Twitch streamers are able to succeed based off of just taking Twitch clips and making a YouTube video. With what I do, it's a little harder to do because you have to have some really cool things happen. And Pokemon is one of those games that I feel like you can really get a lot of cool opportunities with it, but at the same exact time, there's some streams where like nothing will happen, and it's a little harder to build that kind of like stuff up where like it will work. And like you have to make sure like people will like be able to click on your stuff and like really vibe with like your shit. And I'm the type of person that doesn't want to put out YouTube videos unless I'm like proud of that. I know it's gonna do well. I know it's gonna succeed. If I put out a YouTube video and like I feel like it's half-assed, or I feel like it won't hit the algorithm, it has no chance, why am I wasting that time? Why am I wasting that time whenever I could be streaming or I could be doing something else? I would rather know that like that video has a really good chance rather than waste my time and then have it like not hit the algorithm, because every video that doesn't hit the algorithm is not really gonna help you, and in some ways it can even hurt you, because the less interactions it has, the less click-through rate it has, or any of that kind of stuff, the worse the system's going to be. The less likely YouTube is going to want to pump out your video because not enough people are clicking on it or seeing it or whatever. So I want to put out a video that like I know like, okay, it's going to have this impact, it's going to have this like effect that they're going to see it and be like, oh wow, a lot of people are clicking on this, let's pump it out more and see if more people click on it. And then that's just how YouTube is. So
yeah, absolutely.
I know how it works. I know how everything is, and I know a lot of friends that like have really like told me their stuff, like told me like, okay, this is how it works. This is how it's gonna work for me. And like I've seen people literally go from like, okay, their YouTube channel is good, and then they have this snowball effect, and then all their videos start to like eat off each other. And I know how that all works. It's just a matter of how am I gonna make it work? And during Sword and Shield, I actually had like a short period where like I had a few videos that were eating off each other, and then I just started to really lose that like, I guess, idea of like, okay, what do I want my YouTube channel to be about, like, etc. I have that brand identity for Twitch. I need to find that brand identity for YouTube, and I don't want to put out videos for it until I have that idea. So I'm still working on it, and I don't want to be stupid about it. I don't want to be. I want to be smart about it. And,
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, that's how I'm thinking for right now. But for Gen 4 remakes, 100,000%. Like, I want to have my YouTube channel like good before the Diamond and Pearl remakes, the Gen 4 remakes come out, because like this is the renaissance of Pokemon, in my opinion, coming up. I've been talking about the renaissance of Pokemon for a long time now. I talked with Adrive and a few other content creators back like in 2014, 2015. Basically, whenever the Switch was first starting to like become like an idea, like whenever we first started hearing like, okay, the Switch is going to be the thing. And once we figured out like, oh, the Switch is going to be a handheld and a home console at the same time, I'm like, okay, Pokemon's going to be on that because Pokemon's a handheld game first. They're going to really eat off of this, but they're going to need to know how to do it. They're going to need to transition things. They're going to need to know how it works. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was not the Renaissance. Sword and Shield was not the Renaissance. And I don't think Diamond Pro Remake started the Renaissance. I think Pokemon Legends, the full-on 3D, you know, Breath of the Wild-esque kind of game, I think that is the Renaissance of Pokemon. That is going to be the big change of Pokemon. It just needs to be done right. And this is going to be where Pokemon can really build an even bigger base. We're talking about the highest grossing company ever. This is a company that's made more money than Star Wars. And it's not just based off the games, it's based off the anime, the merch, the cards, everything. Pokemon Go.
Yep.
Like, it's based on everything. It's a collective thing. But at the end of the day, everyone knows about Pokemon. You talk to anybody about Pokemon, they'll know what it is. They'll know about Pikachu, they'll know about Charizard, they'll know about Eevee. They know about these things. They know what it's about. They have a basic idea about Pokemon because it's just so popular.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you're going to have people. Most people nowadays have a Switch at this point. If they don't, Christmas time, they buy a Switch. Early 2022, bam, Pokemon Legends comes out. They're probably even gonna have like a new Switch that comes with like a skin of like Pokemon Legends, and they'll have like Arceus on like the, you know, dock or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, whatever. Like, I feel like they're gonna have to brand it really well, and I feel like this is gonna be like the biggest step of Pokemon ever. I feel like the possibilities are definitely endless. There's so many theories about it already, and the game was only shown off for like a minute. So it's nuts. And like, I feel like if everything goes right, this is gonna be the biggest step of Pokemon ever. I feel like Sword and Shield was even like a huge game, even though it had so much criticism and so many question marks.
I had a lot of bad rep, yeah.
Before it came out, everyone was saying like, "Don't buy this game, don't buy this game," and it actually has. It's one of the best sold Pokemon games ever, and it's only been out for like a year and a half. So, if Pokemon could do that, where people are literally telling other people, "Don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it," and people are still buying it, you know, there's a lot of potential. And obviously, it being on the Switch is already just super duper up there already. Like, it already has such a higher, I guess, just potential, really. So yeah, I feel like Gen 4 remakes, I don't have like the biggest idea of what I'm gonna do yet, but all I'm gonna know is it's gonna be huge. And I really hope that they don't drop the ball on this, because a lot of things weigh on both of these games being pretty good. I don't think Legends is going to be perfect. It's the first game that Game Freak is going full on 3D with. They've had a taste of 3D with Sword and Shield. The 3D wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see how it works. We'll see how it goes. But I think there's a lot of potential. And even if this game is like good, not great, whatever the next game they do is, I feel has insane potential and can be really big. And this could be like the next, this could be the snowball of Pokemon, where they just like fucking go in. But it's on the matter of how they do it. And I hope that it succeeds, because I like Pokemon and I'm a Pokemon creator. It works out for me. You know, this is the perfect thing for me. This is a huge opportunity for me as a content creator as well. And as well as all the other Pokemon content creators. And how many people are also going to jump on it that don't really stream Pokemon. A lot of people are going to be playing it casually, and having that type of like audience where you have like all these people that are into Pokemon, not into Pokemon, all playing together, it's gonna be really, really awesome, and it's gonna be really cool to see all the eyes on it. And a lot of people may not like it, but a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, this is huge. If they just work on these things a little bit more, this could be insane.
Absolutely, yeah. After hearing your talk about it, I mean, I've already been excited about the game in the first place. I was like Legends was amazing. I was a bit disappointed at the art style of Platinum, so like the remake, just because I thought it was like looking at it, it looked really really weird at the start. I feel like it's something you gotta get used to. But Pokemon Legends looks amazing. Like if they figured that one out right, and I feel like the testing grounds for that were kind of Pokemon Sword and Shield. They were trying to go for that and then continue that with the next game. I feel like that's what they're trying to go for. So this game has a lot of it has a lot of potential. I'm also definitely gonna stream it and play it myself and do some content on it. So I'll see how it is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I'm more than down for the game. Everything like most Nintendo stuff in itself is very very enjoyable to watch and to do content on to stream. There's like a lot of potential with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing, especially you making content on it, because I mean I'm not the Pokemon guy here usually, you know. But yeah, definitely like that's good. It's really good to see that you have something to look forward to. I'm really excited for you actually. Like when I saw the Pokemon presentation, I'm like, all right, I'm so happy for Elliot that he has content. I'm just
Dude, I was almost crying, bro. I was like, holy shit. Like I saw the Diamond Pearl remix, right? And I'm like, I had the same, like, I think everyone saw it and was just like, wait, they're going chibi? They're going chibi? Like, if you look back at my reaction, I was like, I even said, I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
This is so weird. Like, I didn't say it's bad. I'm like, this is so fucking weird. And like, I looked more at it, like the more that you look at it, the more you're like, wait, this is gonna be kind of cool. And it's a nice throwback on how it looked originally, because it is just how the 2D art looked, but more 3D-esque in terms of the chibi, you know, like it looks weird, but it could look really good whenever they polish it more. And hopefully they look back at the feedback and they're like, oh, well, a lot of people are saying this. Well, hey, let's fix this up a little bit. Let's shade things a little bit better. Hopefully this isn't the final product. I don't think it should be, but Pokemon Game Freak, this is actually not even Game Freak, but they've had these issues in the past and they honestly aren't the best with fixing it. But hopefully they've learned a little bit more, and hopefully they have a little bit more time to work on it still and polish things up and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see. I'm really excited to see where things go, and yeah, I am just it's gonna be crazy. Like I said,
Yeah.
Renaissance. I feel like if things go right, this could be a huge step with Pokemon, and you know where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
super excited.
Aside from Pokemon, we're about to reach the end of the podcast, and I have like one very important question, which is, I saw your most viral video on YouTube, and I just want to ask you something. What inspired the video called Me Eating Cereal? What inspired that thought process?
Oh god. You dug deep. Okay, so I was bored as fuck, bro. I was on a Skype call back like many years ago at this point. And I just randomly posted a tweet. I'm like, oh, if this gets like 10 like retweets or whatever, I will post a video of me eating cereal. And the only reason why I did that is because I was just in a call and I'm just like, what if I just did this? I'm fucking hungry. I want to eat cereal at like 6 p.m. on a rainy fucking day. So then I just said, screw it. I took out like my iPhone 4 or whatever it was, and I just recorded myself going to my kitchen being like, I'm gonna eat some fucking Cocoa Puffs. And that's how the video that's how the video I was not expecting that question. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
You were not prepared?
Yeah. I forgot I even made that video.
Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, I watched it. I looked at like how long you've been doing content. Pretty much. Like the reason why I found this video is I wanted to like look at your channel and see how long you've been doing content, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's been doing that for a while. So I scrolled a little bit down just to see like if you had any growth or like any video that did well, and I saw a video that just it just didn't look like the rest. Like you had like your Let's Play thumbnails of like, oh, Paper Mario Part 5 or something, then like Sunshine Episode 1, and others saw me eating cereal, and I'm like, my man, hold on a second. This is the video.
It'd be a banger. Hold
yeah,
on a second.
I honestly like. I might steal a idea on Twitter. I might just cop. Like 8 years later, I'm like, 100 retweets and I'll eat on camera. Like I don't know, like I eat like cereal or like a toast, whatever. Like honestly, whatever's popular at the time. or like 100 retweets and I'll chug a monster or something. Like I'm pretty sure people are gonna be interested in that. But yeah, a very funny video. I watched the entire thing just to like, you know, I watched I watched you drop the phone on accident. Everything goes black for like a minute. I watched you eat the cereal. It was great. I saw the rain, and also your voice actually, like over the years, it definitely transformed. Like you literally transformed into like a content creator voice. Like it's insane to like see the difference.
Yeah, back then my voice was like actually like I always had a deep voice, like ever since I was like honestly like 14. Like my voice became super deep. Back then I was like, hey guys, Ellie here. Like I had a super duper high pitched voice. If you look at my old YouTube and you go to the first video, you'll be like, no way, that's Elliot. But I was like 11, so you know I should have a fucking kid voice. But my voice back then was definitely more nasally. I was like, hey guys, how's it going? My name is Galactic Elliot. Like I was very like, you know, I didn't really have like that, like I guess like enthusiasm / like just I don't know the content creator voice. You know,
you didn't really have the energy to it. You mean?
Yeah. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like just kind of having fun with it or whatever. But over time, I just became more of an entertainer versus just somebody that's like playing a game. I feel like that's what I've definitely gotten more into, and I feel like streaming has definitely helped me mold into that kind of like personality where okay, like I've definitely become more of an entertainer versus just somebody that's playing a video game. Like especially whenever I speedrun, like whenever you speedrun, like personality is very much like the third most important thing. Not always. You watch like Simply and like Cheese and shit, their personality shines through Mario 64, but you watch other big games and you're just like, all right, so over here we're going to be doing the clip. Let's hope this goes right. If you watch anything in HDQ, like you have like the people on the couch that are like super duper like more into it, and they have the person that's playing. It's like, okay, so over here we're gonna be doing this. So like, you know, like everyone's personality and whatnot's gonna be different and what they do. But I've definitely took on that role of, hey, I want to be entertaining. And like even with like how I play games these days, like on stream, like if I'm doing like a challenge, I want to challenge myself more and more and more versus just like steamrolling through a game, because I feel like I'm pretty decent at Pokemon. I feel like I know it very well because I play it all the fucking time. I should be pretty good at it. But why just why like just steamroll through the game whenever I can like actually challenge myself and then make, you know, some things for the content? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just do stupid shit and you're like for the content, and people will find it to be like funny or whatever, and then some people in the chat would be like, what the fuck, why do you do that? I was like, because it's more fun that way. So, you know, I want people to like, I want people to get into it. I want people to like feel like they're having fun with it versus just, oh, I'm good at a video game. You know, we can all be good at video games, right? But Pokemon,
I don't know about that one, but yeah.
Pokemon's not Smash. Pokemon's not this or that.
True.
Pokemon's a turn-based RPG. You know, if you speedrun it, that's one thing. But if you're doing anything else, like, bro, if you're gonna tell me you're the best Pokemon player ever, you better be halfway joking, right? Unless you do VGC. If you're Wolfie Glick, then yeah, you better be like flexing and shit. But you know, if you're doing like a challenge, you know, yeah. Whenever you say certain things, it's like, oh yeah, you're not actually the best Pokemon player ever. You're just having that like cocky attitude where that's just like your thing. Like you're like the heel, you know, like the heel wrestler. You're like trying to get people like to be on your side or whatever, like, or trying to like be like, wow, you're so conceited. And it's just like, I'm just kidding. I don't actually think that way. But you know, at the end of the day, it's all about personality for turn-based RPG Pokemon game. Like I would hope so, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't think people now just watch for the content, they just watch for the person, and you've done pretty well in that. And being a personality itself gives you a lot of leeway, where it's like it doesn't matter what you do. You can, especially because you mentioned you don't want to be associated as a Pokemon streamer necessarily. You want to be associated as like Elliot, like the brand in itself, like you, who you are. I feel like especially that with like the future content you've planned for the YouTube or whatnot will very well transition to just you doing Smash, you doing Monopoly, like you doing Among Us, whatever. Honestly, is like your content. I'm pretty sure. I'm honestly pretty confident that you can pull it off in itself for sure. And yeah, leaning on to that, where can people find you? Go ahead and plug yourself. Where can people find you, or where are you active the most? Where you want people to find you?
All right, man. If you guys want to hit me up, onlyfans.com/Galactic. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, hold on. Is it free? Because I would subscribe. Like, I would subscribe. Like, I gotta help. Hey, I gotta help a homie out. Like, I would support it. Frame on. Like.
Oh man. Nah, I stream a bunch over on twitch.tv/Galactic Elliot. I'm one of those people. I'm pretty lucky. Most of my platforms are all Galactic Elliot. So YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. It's all, whatever, /Galactic Elliot. If you guys want to hit me up over there, I mostly use Twitter and Twitch and, YouTube, TBD, man. We'll see. I definitely want to get back on that. I definitely want to have a plan. I definitely want to have, I want to establish my brand.
Absolutely.
What I do on my Twitch, what I do on my YouTube, I don't want them to be the same thing. I want them to be, even if I'm just taking like Twitch clips and making them into YouTube videos, I want them to be a different style than just like what I do on Twitch. Because what I do on Twitch is very community based, and nobody gives a fuck about that kind of stuff on YouTube. Let's be real. Like, no one's gonna click on my video just because I'm talking about something within my community. They want to see something that's entertaining. They want to see something that's more than just that.
Yeah.
If they want to see that kind of stuff, they come on Twitch.
Unless it's like an insider joke, obviously. But
yeah, exactly. If you're saying like, chat told me to do this, then that's a great YouTube video, because chat's challenging you to do something. But whenever they click on the video and I'm just talking to my chat, it's like, well, who are you even talking to? This is a YouTube video, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to figure out like what's going to be established for my YouTube. And everyone's channel is different, by the way. I'm not trying to say like my thing's absolute, my ideas are absolute, my this and that is the only way to do it. Whatever the case is, this is about what I do, how I do it, not based on how it's supposed to be done. And this worked for me, so it's gonna work for you. I use this acne cream and it worked for me, so it will 100% work for nah. This is no infomercial. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to tell you what worked for me and how it's gonna work for you. This is just me and my crazy journey of content creation through a billion fucking years. I'm a fucking skeleton at this point, but
Stone Age. Stone Age content creator.
Back in my day, we didn't have a subscribe button for non-partners, and we didn't have none of those advertisements on YouTube. You had to be a partner.
Yeah, we didn't have none of those sponsored streams from Raid Shadow Legends. We didn't have any of that back then.
Raid Shadow Legends, what the fuck is that? All I know is RuneScape.
At the end of the day, I've been doing this for a while. Back in the Stone Age, you know what I'm saying? But
I feel that. Yeah, I've been around for a while, so I've seen and heard a lot. But yeah, we can definitely talk about the YouTube stuff more in private, obviously, and the branding and whatnot, because that's more like of the stuff that will only interest other content creators. I don't really think viewers are that interested in it unless it's like a little peek into it. Like, I feel like it's always like people want to see like behind the scenes, but not too much, where it's like
I feel like only like if I had like 1 million subscribers, then people would be like, oh shit, he's the real big deal, let me hear what he has to say. But I'm a Joe Schmo. I mean, whatever I say is not gonna really matter unless I have things to back it up. So
depends. Maybe the new Pokemon game is gonna elevate your career or other things. But you will never know.
At the end of the day, I just want to build my community. I want to build everything up and make it all happen, man.
Absolutely.
My biggest goal.
Yep. Thank you so much for having us today, Elliot. It was a pleasure interviewing you today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
It's a blast.
All right. Is there anything you want to say? Anything that's left? Maybe like any like tips to people who are like interested in like knowing your stuff, or like in general just who want to get into like Pokemon?
Hey man, just have fun with it, and be good to each other, man. That's all I gotta say. Like, there's so much shit going on in the world right now. Be good to each other. As far as Pokemon, I mean, I don't know, man. Play the game. I don't fucking know. Have fun with it.
Play the game. I don't fucking know.
Watch it.
All right, then I'll call it a day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.